Hello everybody, welcome back to English Building Blocks. Today we're going to talk about the present simple and the present continuous, how to construct them, how to use them correctly, and there will also be some exercises towards the end, okay? Now remember, if you like these videos, please subscribe, okay? Thank you very much. And now let's have a look at the present simple and present continuous. So let's talk about constructions, beginning with the present simple. Now, in an affirmative sentence using the present simple, the principal verb form is in the infinitive. Okay, for example, we eat roast on Sundays. So you see, we use the principal verb in its infinitive form. We eat. Okay. However, when using a negative or interrogative sentence, then you use first the auxiliary verb to do, followed then by the principal verb in the infinitive form. For example, I don't work at home, or do you like pizza? Okay, so you see in both cases, in negative and interrogative, we use first the auxiliary verb to do, followed then by the infinitive as the principal verb. Okay? Now, remember, when using the third person singular, he, she, or it, or a substitute of those, then you add an s or es to the first verb. Okay? Now remember, as we have mentioned, in an affirmative sentence, the first verb is the principal verb. For example, he runs 10k every day. So you see the first verb is the principal verb to run, and we add an s. He runs. Okay? In negative and interrogative, however, the first verb is the auxiliary verb to do, and we add an es, okay? For example, she doesn't live in Manchester, okay? Or how often does it snow where you live? So you see in both cases we use the auxiliary verb to do with an es. Okay, followed by the principal verb in the infinitive form. Now, let's have a look at the present continuous. The present continuous is constructed by using the auxiliary verb to be, followed by the principal verb in the gerund form, ending in ing, in affirmative, negative, and interrogative. For example, I am listening to music. She isn't studying at the moment. Or are they playing handball? Okay, so you see in all three cases, in affirmative, negative, and interrogative, we first use the auxiliary verb to be, followed by the principal verb form in the gerund ending in ing. Okay? So now, when do we use the present simple and when do we use the present continuous? Let's have a look first at the present simple. Now, firstly, we can use the present simple to express a situation, a state, or a fact, okay? For example, it is really hot today. Now, that is definitely a situation, right? So we use the present simple, it is, okay? Another example, I don't like waking up early in the morning. Now, that is a fact. I don't like waking up early in the morning, so we use the present simple in this case in a negative sentence. I don't like, okay? Now, the second use of the present simple is to express a frequency. Now, this frequency can be expressed by a definite adverb of frequency or an indefinite adverb of frequency. If you want more information, have a look here and click on the link, okay? Now, let's have a look at a couple of examples. I always have breakfast in the morning. So always, this is an indefinite adverb of frequency, right? Expresses a frequency, so we use the present simple. I always have, okay? On the other hand, we can also use indefinite adverbs of frequency. For example, she has English class once a week. So once a week, an indefinite adverb of frequency, which means we need to use the present simple. She has, okay? And now the uses of the present continuous. Firstly, we can use the present continuous to express an ongoing action. Now, what is an ongoing action? Well, basically, this is an action that has started, but it has not finished yet. So you are in the middle of the action, a started but not finished action, and that is an ongoing action. For example, I am watching a film. So I have started the film, yes, but I have not finished the film. I'm in the middle of the film. So this is an ongoing action, and that's why we use the present continuous. I am watching a film, okay? Another example. Are they playing tennis? So here I am asking if they are in the middle of a match. Have they started their match but not finished it yet? So that's my question. Is there an ongoing action? Okay, and that's why we use the present continuous. Are they playing? Okay. Now, there is a second use to the present continuous, and that is to express a future plan. So a future plan is something that you have programmed or planned to do in a future, okay? For example, we are traveling to Scotland this summer. So we have planned, we have programmed to do this trip this summer. So this is a future plan, and again we use the present continuous. We are traveling, okay? Last example. She isn't coming home this Christmas. So she has planned or programmed not to come home this year for Christmas. So this is her future plan, and that's why we use the present continuous. She isn't coming, okay? And now one observation before we jump into the exercises. Now you need to know the difference between a dynamic verb and a stative verb. Now what is a dynamic verb? Well, basically this is an action, something you do. Okay. On the other hand, a stative verb is not an action. No, it expresses a state. Okay. Now, why is this difference important? Well, you cannot use the present continuous with a stative verb. You can only use the present simple with a stative verb. Okay. Now, let's have a look at some examples. Firstly, the verb to swim, that is definitely a dynamic verb. That is something you do. So you can possibly use the continuous tense, okay? On the other hand, the verb to depend is not a dynamic verb. That is a stative verb describing a situation, okay? And therefore you can only use the present simple. Another example, to eat. Again, this is a dynamic verb. This is an action, so possibly you can use the present continuous, okay? But to have a car, on the other hand, that is not a dynamic verb, that is a stative verb, so you can only use the present simple, okay? So now let's have a look at a couple of sentences. For example, it depends on the weather. So here I use the verb to depend, a stative verb, in the present simple, and that is correct. On the other hand, I cannot say it is depending on the weather. I cannot use the present continuous with a stative verb, okay? Another example. I have a car. So here I use the verb to have to express a possession. So that is not an action. That is a stative verb. So I can and have to use the present simple. I have a car, and that is a correct sentence. On the other hand, I cannot say I am having a car. I cannot use the present continuous with a stative verb. That is incorrect. Okay? Good. And now let's do some exercises, okay? So I'm going to give you some sentences and you decide whether to use the present simple or present continuous. Every time you can pause the video to think a little bit if you want to, okay? First example. We normally to travel by car. So if you want to, you can pause the video now. And the correct answer is we normally travel by car. So we use here the present simple because we express a frequency using the adverb of frequency normally. And that's why we use the present simple, we normally travel. Okay. Second example. Jane to phone her granny at the moment, but she'll finish in 5 minutes. Again, you can pause the video if you want to. And the correct answer is Jane is phoning her granny at the moment. So we use here the present continuous, okay? Why? Because we're expressing an ongoing action, an action that has started but not finished, okay? And that's why we use the present continuous. Jane is phoning, okay? Third example, how Simon to handle a crisis situation. Again, you can pause the video. And the correct answer here is, how does Simon handle a crisis situation? So here we use the present simple in an interrogative sentence. Why? Because we are expressing or asking about a state, a situation. As you see, we use the word situation in our sentence, so clearly we are expressing a situation, and that's why we use the present simple. How does Simon handle a crisis situation? Okay. Fourth example. I to watch a film with a friend tonight. Again, you can pause the video if you want to. And the correct answer is, I am watching a film with a friend tonight. So here we use the present continuous because we're expressing a future plan. When expressing a future plan, you need to use the present continuous. I am watching a film with a friend tonight. Okay. Fifth example. To remember our trip to Lisbon. So again, you can pause the video if you want to. And the correct answer is, do you remember our trip to Lisbon? So here, using the verb to remember, which is a stative verb, I can only use the present simple. I cannot use the present continuous, and that's why we say, do you remember, in the present simple. Okay? And last example, Jimmy to wash his jacket because it's already clean. Again, you can pause the video if you want to. The correct answer is, Jimmy isn't washing his jacket because it's already clean. So here I use the present continuous in negative, describing an ongoing action that is not being done. I'm not doing it. I'm not in the middle of that action. Okay, and that is why I use the present continuous. Jimmy isn't washing his jacket. Okay, and that was our last example. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you have learned something, please subscribe, leave a comment, click the notification bell, or just give a thumbs up. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.